Hey soul friends, how are you doing? I am not going to lie, the upcoming transformational opportunities feel intense. They bring the possibilities of some pressure. Um, it's like birthing pains and just a lot going on this week. But really, I want to emphasize, first of all, this is my intuitive take, how I feel about what the astrology feels like. And I think of astrology as a symbolic language that is helping us navigate life as souls having a human experience. So, how have you been feeling? What have you been noticing? There has been intensity all along. I know, I'm not going to lie, there's more this week. We are living through, we are in history, we are in hugely evolving, transformational, intense times. There's no other way to say it. I know you're feeling it. Tell me how you're doing. I hope you're reaching for support when you need. I hope that you're riding these transformational waves with intention, with mindfulness, with willingness to do your inner work. Whatever's getting stirred individually and collectively is for us to lean into, not avoid, not run away, but engage and ask that very helpful transformational question. How is this happening for me? How is this happening for us? And what is mine to offer? What is mine to contribute? So welcome to the Soul Nurture channel. I'm Victoria. I'm your soul guide. I love supporting people through intense transformational times. It's what I do. And maybe you're in one right now. I don't know who isn't. We're all being pressurized right now. In fact, this week, that's what it feels like. The two images that I got for this week was a pressure cooker and a volcano. What does that mean? Okay, let's not get scared though. It's not a scary thing. It's an awareness thing, right? The more awareness we bring to what is, the more we can engage for healing and transformation, and ultimately for our contribution to the collective. Okay, so thanks for being with me. Let's see what we've got going on here. There's where to start. I don't think I'm going to do day by day this time. I'm actually recording this on Easter Sunday, and for those of you who celebrate, hope that you had a joyous weekend and celebration on Sunday. And quite frankly, I just came out of a process I was supporting my husband doing, a nature immersion process for the week last week, and I'm really tired. And we have a void of course moon today, and we have a few of those this week. So void of course moon is when the moon, it's still in the sign it's in. Like today, the moon is in Capricorn, moving into Aquarius. But the void of course means the moon is not making any aspects to any other planets or anything. So it's kind of this, it's considered a time of just rest and reflection. Think about a boat without a rudder, or, just kind of like free floating, right? So it is said to not make any big decisions or start anything during void of moon course. Of course, again, the symbolic language of astrology, the way that I work with it is if it matches my intuition, if it resonates with me. So I say that to you, whatever I have to say, if it resonates, awesome. I hope so. I hope really what I offer in these videos is from my long history of transformational work, being a transformational guide, helping people reclaim potential, nurturing potential, that something I say in these videos just lands right in your heart or awakens your soul and supports you and reminds you you're not alone. You're not the only one having these crazy experiences. We are all growing through something, right? So let me know what your takeaways from this video are. So, okay. So like I said, this week may feel a little bit like a pressure cooker. It's we may feel emotions rising, even though we're moving towards a new moon, which usually is we're kind of like in the letting go, the shedding, and being prepared to emerge with some new possibilities and set intention. But there's a lot of what we would call hard aspects in astrology, oppositions, squares. But really, they're not hard. I think they're birth pains. They're the surges, to something has to change, something has to move here. Something has to transform. That's what this week is about. And I always say, we either work with the astrology or it works us. And that's why I offer these. It's kind of like, instead of astrological weather, astrological transformational opportunities. Oh, okay, it may be a little bit more intense. Get your self-care tools out, your soul care tools out. How will you take care of yourself? How will you navigate what is? Just like if I were going to tell you that it was going to rain on Tuesday, get your raincoat out, right? So yeah, there may be we've got a lot of aspects to Pluto, a lot of squares, and the good news is we're in Taurus season. So again, happy birthday, happy solar return, happy personal new year to my Taurus friends out there. We get to borrow the energy of Taurus, which is grounding, rooting in our values, what really matters, really assessing your own self-worth. This is always a time to increase your self-worth. One of my favorite quotes is, if you place a low value on yourself, rest assured that no one will automatically increase it for you. That's your work. That's inner work, right? So, but Taurus season is about taking the practical steps, grounding, building slowly, slow but steady. I always think of Taurus as the tortoise and the hare story, the tortoise. One step, one simple step, slowing down. So think about that. I always say pace with grace. Taurus season is just take the best next step. Slow down, ground. It's earth. Taurus is earth and earth sign. And so think about grounding in nature, being like the tree, rooted deeply in what you value, and growing slowly but steadily, right? So that's the good news. So we're going to want to root in deep. And because, there could be some power struggles, there could be a lot of shadow material bubbling up this week. Again, purposeful. Why? Whatever's been suppressed, denied, or disowned in ourselves, it needs to come to the surface, embrace it, accept it, and integrate it. That's really the big work of evolving, the big work of reclaiming soul potential and becoming. And we are all becoming. I think this week we're going to see a lot more rawness, a lot more realness. People really admitting what's been hard, what's been a challenge, and it's good. This thought came to me yesterday. I almost made a post, and I may do so this week, because I am all about authenticity. So I'm trying to be more authentic, and I'm trying to catch myself when I'm not, and also noticing where, some of us, and me included, will fall into the comparison trap. Well, these people seem like they've got it together, and I'm over here, dealing with this or that, and growing through some big challenges. And aren't we all? I'm in there with you. Believe me, I am. And I know we're getting tired with these one wave after another, right? So do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself this week. But here's the post. It was something like, just to remind yourself, and remind yourself when you're posting. I always keep this in mind when I'm posting. Where is this for me? But the message came, keep in mind that most of what people are posting is who they wish they were, and not who they really are in the moment, right? Something like that. And it's just a reality check. And this week brings reality checks. Yes, we want to lead with who we want to be, but we need to be authentic about where we are. And then also honor that we're all evolving, we're all becoming, we're all reclaiming. So when you see a post, like somebody's posting the highlights of their life and you get triggered, that's your shadow material that you've denied or suppressed. Or you're really like, wow, they're amazing. That is also your shadow material that you suppressed. Jung called that the golden shadow, the potential that you have yet to activate, right? So I don't know why that was important. It seemed like it was, but okay. So the weekly themes of this week, April 21st through the 27th, again, moving towards that new moon in Taurus on Sunday the 27th. birthing pains, there can be some emotional intensity. Again, we think of that with like the full moon. New moons are, I think of just like this slow, gentle flow. But this is like volcano energy. Okay, but think about volcanoes. What do they do? I always say this to my clients, like the lava flows, and yes, we are frightened of the intensity of volcanoes and the perceived destruction. But what happens is when the lava is flowing, it is creating new earth, right? New ways to walk forward. I mean, after it's cooled down and solid and all that, but you get what I'm saying. So just, if I could just really empower you with this awareness and trust, to build your trust that everything that is unfolding is trying to emerge something new through us and collectively. And through our human eyes, it can feel so scary. I know there's a big, loud background noise of fear, especially in the US. And tell me where you're viewing from and what it's like in your world. Because I am not a fearful person, and I'm noticing some intensity of fear. And this week in particular can bring some obsessing about things. You're going to need to check yourself when you're too much in your human experience and say, let me come back to my faith. Let me come back to my soul. Let me come back to trust. Let me come back to something. You must anchor in something or root in something that you believe in that holds you while the chaos is swirling in the world, right? Okay. So shadow work this week is important. You may be noticing this week power dynamics, that there can be inner power conflicts and outer power conflicts. And I'll speak to some of the specifics. Like we do have Sun square Pluto and Mars opposite Pluto this week. So the potential for conflicts, but the potential for conflicts brings the potential for breakthroughs. For no longer, I always think about oppositions like pulling on a tug of war, trying to pull this way or that way. But one thing I offer you, like if, conflicts are like tug of war, what happens if you just put your side of the rope down? There's no conflict. You just put it down. Doesn't mean you 100% agree. You're just saying, I'm not going to engage in the conflict. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to ground in this beautiful time of Taurus season and try to grow new potential that offers something different instead of the same push and pull. But also know that inner conflicts are trying to bring something to your attention that maybe you've denied, and usually it's a need. And that conflict is about getting your need met. How can you get your need met? Look at other possibilities. There's a lot of fixed energy. Sun in Taurus, fixed sign. We start the week with Moon in Aquarius, Monday and Tuesday, fixed sign. Mars is in Leo, fixed sign. So I want to say fixed means what it sounds like. It can be stubborn. It can be like, I'm not budging. But if you're not willing to budge, you're not willing to grow. Somebody need to hear that. If you do, drop it in the comments. We need to, the best of our ability, look at our own, let's see if I can say this word. It's already stuck in my head. Rigidity. Look at your own rigidity. Look at your own digging your heels in the sand, saying, I'm not going to budge, even though you want to grow forward. So where have you been stubborn? Where this may come up, and you may like double down on your stubbornness, your fixed opinion, but you're going to miss the opportunity to grow or see a different perspective or a different awareness. Again, put down the tug of war rope. Put it down. If you are somebody who is on a spiritual path, put it down. Put the conflicts down. Put your hands up and say, show me another way that I am not seeing, that is more aligned with my authentic self, not from my wounded self or not from the conditioned self, but from the you that is trying to emerge through all of this turbulence, okay? We also have I'll look at the day, but we have Venus-Saturn conjunction, which is about, again, relationships. It's a sobering time. It's a get real time. It's a how are the relationships, or it's also working to build relationships, to work to get some stronger foundation or support underneath your relationships. It's also connected to emotional maturity, boundaries. It's also connected to what we value, and money. And I know, and I want to say this, gosh, this is on my heart because I've had a lot of cancellations with clients, and I know a lot of people who are struggling right now financially because of what's going on in our country anyway. And that's like Venus, Saturn, like constriction. Money's not flowing right now, and people are and some people are in fear. And like I've had a lot of reschedules and cancellations, and people actually telling me I've lost money in the stock market. I don't think I can continue to do this right now. I get it. And now, let's see, how do I say this without making it too political? If we go into fear, we have given up. Now, there's a difference between surrendering and giving up. If you are not engaging, you're not spending money out of fear, you are letting fear win. Let's just say that. You don't let fear win. Of course, be practical. Of course, be responsible, but continue to live your life. If you're going to a therapist, soul guide, someone like me, or you get your nails done, and suddenly you're like, oh, I can't do that. Change your can'ts into I can, but what will it look like differently where you're taking care of yourself, but you're not stopping living your life, okay? This can feel like restriction. We got to continue to love what we love, do what we do to support ourselves and our soul and our bodies, okay? And if you are a client of mine and are having financial concerns or are in fear, talk to me. Don't just cancel or don't put off scheduling because of money. Let's talk. Email me at thesoulnurturer@gmail.com, or you know how to contact me. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about the moon really quick, where it's going to travel this week, because that's a fun way to track. Where's the moon, the emotional, intuitive connection. It tends to be the emotional feeling that we're all kind of experiencing. So moon is in Aquarius on Monday, the 21st and the 22nd. So Aquarius is quirky, can be eccentric. It's like where we're really invited to our authenticity and thinking outside of the box of our lives. If we can be a little detached and a little bit more like perspective and visionary, right? So that's happening and on Monday and Tuesday, and then Tuesday night the moon moves into Pisces, so we have moon in Pisces on Tuesday and Wednesday. Pisces is emotional sensitivity, spiritually connecting us to our higher selves, our higher possibilities, the divine, the sacred. This is much needed. Pisces moon, both everything's purposeful. Aquarius sees the higher picture for humanity. When we move into Pisces waters, moon, it's about what's the compassionate way to view what's happening. Because, with the sun square Pluto and all this other stuff going on, it gives us a compassionate view of the struggles, the conflicts. And may it also call you into vision for something higher from a sacred lens, okay? And so Thursday, the moon is void of course, and it's a long stretch from 7:57 to midnight. Or is that 1 a.m.? 1 a.m. And so again, another void of course. So in the evening, void of course is especially, it's in Pisces, a very reflective time, a real retreating time, being with your soul, being with the higher potential, right? So I really want to remind you throughout this week, pause, reflect, connect to a spiritual practice, ground. It's also Earth Day this week on Tuesday. Get in nature, remember your true nature. Remember, we're evolving our authentic nature, even though we're seeing the shadow material rise more and more in ourselves and in others and in our governments, in the world. And that can be overwhelming, but we're seeing it for a reason. It's been hidden, and it's not so hidden anymore. So why? So we can make different choices, so we can see where that's triggering something in us that we've denied or suppressed, so that we can claim our wholeness, so that we can contribute from our empowered self and our wholeness. And this week is all about empowerment, reclaiming personal power. There's a lot of aspects to Lilith. So we're looking at where we've been, we rejected or rebelled against conformity, and we were punished for that. And we're trying to stand in our power and our authority and our sexuality and being who we are. So that's happening. So I want to stay with the moon because I got off track a little bit. There's so much here. I'm like, where to go? So yeah, Thursday the moon's in Pisces, but it goes forward, of course. And then it goes into Aries. And then so Friday and Saturday, the moon is in Aries. So for the weekend, it's like we're really just seeing the vision Monday and Tuesday. We are feeling in, we're connecting to our intuition with Pisces. We're feeling, let your compassion guide you to what is yours to offer. I'm telling you what, I have got a practice right now. Maybe I'll share it with you. I do watch the news because that becomes what I need to pray about and vision for. But I watch a lot of, when I go on Instagram, I seek out videos that are heartwarming, people helping others. There's a number of those where people are asking for help and like, do you have a couple dollars? And people are walking by saying, no. And then somebody will come and help. And then that person who's helping the person's really pretending to be in need. And when I just saw one the other day, just made me cry the whole time. This guy was just asking for a couple of dollars for his kid, and everyone's like, no, sorry, but I don't have any money. And this woman's like, what do you need? You got a baby? How old's your baby? Let's get some clothes. Let's get the babies need this. Babies love this. And then, it makes me cry. And he's like, okay, no, I really don't need that. Thank you so much. And he pulls out like $1,000, but this is for you. And I can watch those videos all the time. Why? Because they remind me of the beauty of each human being, even though it's hard to see sometimes that underneath people who seem to be leading with their shadow, that we're triggered by, that we're disgusted by, and yeah, they're hard to be with, right? They're hard to remember that there's a soul underneath. And sometimes we question, is there a soul in that person too? And if you can't think of it that way, think about a wounded inner child. I happen to think that the person running, am I going to say this? I'm going to say it. This is how I see the person who got elected to president in the U.S. as a very wounded little boy. Very, very wounded. And the wounds are just oozing out and affecting everybody else. People aren't called to do the highest and most compassionate thing. We're seeing, one thing that he is doing, he's drawing out the worst of the worst, right? Why? Not so we could, be angry all the time and pissed off and scared, but to say, ooh, whatever is revealed needs to be healed. And if you want to play a big game, it's not game, higher practice. Pray for those who trigger you the most. Pray for that wounded inner child inside of them. Pray for them to evolve too. Okay? All right. Did I just get off track again? I did. Well, anyway, so that's all Pisces. Lead with your compassion, right? Wednesday, Thursday, then Friday, the moon moves into Aries. Now we're taking action. Now we've been sitting with what's not working. Maybe we've been feeling into our inner world and feeling where our wounds are getting triggered. And then this fiery Aries moon, this is about taking action. But be careful, it could be emotional reactivity. We also have, and I'm not going into all the aspects, but this is where one of the aspects to Lilith is, which is pretty big, which is Mars square Lilith. And so turn your anger into assertiveness and think about, it's about claiming your worth, standing up, being empowered. My distinction I make with my clients, you're either in your wounded self or your empowered self. If you're feeling triggered and you got a lot of things you want to say out of anger, soothe yourself, calm yourself, talk to your inner child, get in touch with your powerful self. That's what wants to emerge. Okay, go move your body through this week as much as you need. When you feel triggered, Stephen Levine from the trauma tool, when I think I got this from Waking the Tiger, but Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet on the ground. Just move the energy out of you. Just get it out, or do some shaking, right? There's going to be, I think, lots of opportunities. But while you're moving that out, ask yourself, what's underneath? What's trying to emerge? Who am I being called to be? How can I see myself in a more empowered way? This week, really, all the way to Saturday, it's about rebirthing. It's laboring. It's laboring to push through the pressure. For any of you mamas who've birthed babies into the world, you know that feeling of pressure just before that good push. That's what this week is like. So on Saturday, yeah, we've got Mars opposing Pluto, again, power clashes, but it is all for deep transformation, okay? So I think I'm going to wrap up. Oh, Sunday is the new moon in Taurus, but I'm going to do a separate video on that though. But this theme on that, the new moon, is about rooting in again into what you value, knowing your worth, and we think about setting intentions, but the intentions are about your security, your stability, and all things Taurus. And I'll say more about that in the next video. And let me just go here and see if there's anything else I had for you. Just to, think about, again, trust that this is happening for us, not against us. So meet the intensity with grounded, calm, trusting presence if you can. And if you can't, reach for support, okay? What are your go-to tools when you're feeling a little rattled? Do you pray? Do you meditate? Do you exercise? Do you get in nature? You must have at least 2, 3, 4 backup plans. What can you do when you feel there's nothing to do? And think about the emotions that come. It's just watering the seeds, the new potential seeds that you're going to be planting on the new moon. But it's like we're letting the decay, we're letting things shed to become compost, to grow our potential. So really just be patient with yourself and with others to the best of your ability. Take good care of your body and your soul. You may feel like reaching for comfort food, but make sure it's nourishing and nurturing. Take good care of yourself is really the key here. I really wish for you that you trust that what is breaking down is making space for the new to emerge, and that you find joy in the slowing down. Taurus is all about savoring, slowing down, simple pleasures, right? Find joy and gratitude in the simple pleasures, and strengthen your softness, and be gentle as your shadow material emerges. Wrap your arms around any aspect of you and welcome them. So, all right, if you found this helpful, I'm going to wrap this up now. Please share a clip, subscribe if you haven't. Reach for support. I'm offering 20-minute consultations for free. Those look like just getting a sense of where you're at. I think this is why I'm a soul guide. Where are you at? Where do you want to be? I have so many transformational tools to support you, and one of them is soul charts. So we can peek at your chart. It's only 20 minutes. I don't have time to go through the whole thing, but just to give you a sense if you want that. But please, that's free support available to you. There's a link underneath that you can request a 20-minute session, or really value yourself and reach for support and book yourself a full session, okay? And you can do that through my website at victoriajazwick.com, and then track the moon, just see how you're feeling on each day. Just notice that. That's how we do soul tracking. All right. Peace be with you as you navigate whatever's going on in your world. You're not alone. And I can't say enough, reach for support. Take good care of yourself. Be gentle. Be kind to yourself. Be curious about what's emerging. And just take the next best gentle step forward. All right. I'll see you next time, and take good care until then. Bye-bye.